In a futuristic world, a strict regime has eliminated war by suppressing emotions. Books, art, and music are strictly forbidden, and feeling is a crime punishable by death. Cleric John Preston, Christian Bale, is a top-ranking government agent responsible for destroying those who resist the rules. When he misses a dose of Prosium, a mind-altering drug that hinders emotion, Preston, who has been trained to enforce this strict law of the new regime, suddenly becomes the only person capable of overthrowing it. A brilliant film with excellent use of colour. Blacks, whites and greys for the emotionally suppressed, whereas vibrant colours for people who feel. There's an interesting use of colour when Mary is incinerated, as she is dressed in a red hooded cloak, in a way being portrayed as the devil by Libria. And I love the way John in the final act is now wearing white, portraying him as the saviour, effectively a white knight. This film has great cinematic set pieces, reminiscent of Mega City 1 from Judge Dredd and Metropolis from the film with the same name. A gothic but also futuristic look that fills you as the watcher with a feeling of unease, dread and emptiness every time you see Libria. And then we have certain lines that are said during the film. Were you close with your partner? And then there's when he defended his wife from the guards who were trying to take her. Now, I've always seen these moments as flaws in the story. As if emotion was suppressed, why would you defend your wife? And why would you be close to your cleric partner? I also love the hints that Brent and Dupont are feeling. Brent with his sarcasm and constant smiling, and Dupont when he shouts, "Are you playing with me, cleric?" For me, it was obvious they were feeling, especially as Dupont's shouting is an emotional outburst. The action scenes are glorious, a fun use of hand-to-hand combat, gun fu and even some swordplay, while also adding some superb acrobatics. The sparring session goes out of its way to show that emotion fails Christian Bale, as at first he keeps getting bested by his partner. However, by the end of the session, his partner is in a much more vulnerable position, showing that emotion makes you fight harder. His partner Brent is a great foil to him, as he constantly undermines John at every turn, and at times annoys you as the watcher. He has a cocky, arrogant way about him, which is truly irritating at times. He's well written and portrayed by the actor, as he does the job his character is meant to do, and cements himself as the bad guy, an exact mirror image of John, and a constant reminder of what he used to be. The ironic part of this film is they're suppressing emotion to stop conflict, and yet are involved in constant conflict with what they call sense offenders, people who feel. So what have they really achieved? They've simply swapped one war for another. The other irony is that this film, a film about suppressing emotions, also invokes a lot of emotion from you, the watcher. I commend the film for its ability to really make the watcher think about what they're seeing. A man who is struggling to hide the fact he feels while being surrounded by people who would kill him for it. A man who has become the very thing he swore to destroy. We see this when the scene with the book is mirrored between Christian Bale and his new partner. The truly heart-wrenching part for me is when they start exterminating the dogs, deeming them to be something that creates feeling and so illegal and must be destroyed. While watching this film again, I couldn't get away from the feeling that the writer/director was trying to remind me of World War II. Clerics and their fire teams remind you of the Germans, with a lot of grey, black and leather clothing, whilst the sense offenders remind you of the Jewish people who were being persecuted by them, and so as a result were on the run. This film truly makes you think about humanity, and while emotion does cause conflict, it also creates joy. Any lack of emotion really makes you know better, as a person who doesn't feel is capable of terrible atrocities. Effectively, a person suppressing their emotions is a sociopath, and so by extension, extremely dangerous.